Okay. Today we have with us our MVPs, Nidhi Chaturvedi, who is a senior engineer at Citrix, and Afeara Romi, who is a consultant with Reported Diamond. Both of them are going to help you and guide you today through your initiation in RPA. This is the very first session of the RPA Summer School, the introduction in RPA. Nidhi is going to be your speaker, and together with Afe is going to offer support in the chat, and also we have our colleague Katerina Olteanu, who is there to support you in chat as well. So even if you are on mute during this session until the Q&A, please feel free to ask all questions in chat if you want. If you don't want to wait until the Q&A to ask live, then the Q&A will be about 15 minutes. We're going to try to give you 15 minutes. But please ask questions in chat if you feel like you don't understand something or you would like supplementary information. Just don't be afraid to ask, please. This is why we are here. Also, if you want to make some networking, please share your LinkedIn profiles in chat if you want to network with other aspiring RPA developers out there or citizen developers. And we also hope you are here to have some fun because we have a Mentimeter quiz prepared for you. We're going to have 2 winners today. At the end of the session. There will be like during the session, so we have to stay attentive. During the session, we are going to have two breaks for questions, for Mentimeter questions, and then we're going to see the final results at the end of the session. The RPA Summer School, I think, I don't know how many of you checked our program for the RPA Summer School. So if you go on our community platform, which is UiPath community at uipath.com, and you go to Academy RPA Summer School here, you will see our entire program for the sessions until the first week of September, and you are able to join all 4 sessions to finish the whole module. Then at the end of the module, you will have a quiz, and we will give you a diploma of attendance for the RPA Summer School. So please make sure you RSVP to all 4 sessions. We are going to start today with Kick Off Your Way in RPA, and then follow up with UI automation in the 2nd session, which is this Thursday. Then we're going to dive deeper in RPA with your first Excel and Word automations, and then we're going to finish off with automating Outlook and Gmail. So at the end of this, you should have a very good idea about simple things to automate, like things you do daily in your workplace. You can also check our entire UiPath community platform and check our upcoming events here and resources for the community, and join our forum and of course, Academy. So going back to our presentation today, I'm going to hand it over now to Nidhi, who is going to be your speaker. Nidhi.
Hello, everyone. This is Nidhi, and thank you so much for joining the session and taking out the time. So let me share the screen and let me know if it's visible. Okay, so can anyone confirm if the screen is visible? Cool. So with that, let's start your RPA journey today, and with the first topic, which is the introduction to the RPA. We'll start the introduction with a quick and interesting video that I'll just now play. So there you go. Let's see this video, and this will give you a quick overview of what is RPA and why we want to learn the RPA. And before that, let me share the sound as well. Okay.
This is the story of work. It started a long time ago, on a Monday, which was handy. For as long as history itself, the humans needed to work. They wanted to work, to grow things and create things and build things, to see what they were capable of, to stand at day's end and say, I did that, which felt pretty good. So they worked more, built more, and traveled to far-off places. And then someone suggested submitting expense reports for those far-off places. His name was Glenn, and he was a jackass. Anyway, the people kept getting better at work. They built better tools to work more efficiently. They built amazing machines to work faster. They built computers to work smarter. But still, they couldn't do enough work. Because during all that work to do more work, they had created work, and not the good kind. Not the let's sit around and come up with ideas kind. Not the I can't wait to get to work so I can jump into a new project kind. The crap kind. The drudge and data and admin and the damned expense reports. So the humans had to work more at work they didn't like. That made them robotic. That didn't inspire. They had to postpone vacations. They had to miss family dinners. They were pissed. And then something happened. Someone had a really amazing idea. They came into work and said, stop working and start working. The humans thought she might have had wine at lunch, so she showed them a way to put the fun back into work, to waste less time doing the things they hated, to make more efficient the big tasks, to stop making the humans act like robots and start teaching the robots to learn the humans. Not to replace people, but to free them. Even Glenn. Robots that learn you. Imagine the potential, like starting over, to help us remember again that work only really works when we're happy at it.
Okay, so I guess this was an interesting video, and most of us could actually relate to the video because how the work has evolved over the year is we used to have a single, you can say a laptop or a system in the office, and now we all have the laptop and the monitors on each of our desks. With that, what has multiplied over the years is the work or the amount of work that we do on those systems. But sadly, what has multiplied a good number is the boring and the repetitive and the manual tasks that we have to do in a day-to-day life, right? So we do not want to do these repetitive and the manual tasks or the boring tasks in a day-to-day life. We want these to be handled by someone else, right? We do not want that we are spending our time in some of the boring tasks that we do, right? So we want these robotic tasks to be handled by the robot itself. So this is where the RPA or the robotic process automation comes into the picture. So this is how the RPA has been introduced. And if we look at the basic or the technical term of the RPA, which says RPA is the technology that enables a software program to mimic human actions while interacting with the computer applications to accomplish required tasks. Some human interactions that can be automated are the keyboard inputs, the mouse movements and the clicks, and the reading computer screen. So as we said, what is RPA? If you break down this term, which means robotic process automation, you are doing your process automation with the help of a robot. And what is robot? A robot is nothing but a software program that is mimicking the human actions. So this is where the whole RPA comes into the picture, when you want your day-to-day task to be mimicked by a robot, which you do not want to do, right? So this is where the RPA helps. It is nothing but a software program which is sitting on your system and working on behalf of you, right? And these are the basic, process that you can automate that involves, you can say, keyboard inputs. If you are typing something, you are filling up a form, right? You are entering your name, or you're entering your surname, you are mentioning your Gmail IDs on your form filling part. So this is where the keyboard inputs come into the picture, and this is what you can automate. Now coming to the mouse clicks again, whenever you're performing these kind of actions on your system, this also can be easily handled by a software robot. And now coming to the third part, which is reading computer screen. If you're reading something from the screen, you are checking the latest product price from Amazon website, okay? And if you're reading anything else from the computer screen, this can be done by a robot on your behalf, right? So this is a quick introduction of what is RPA, or you can say the robotic process automation. Okay, so there are certain myths about what is RPA and what RPA is not. Okay, so there is a cute little story which I would like to share. So this is the first time that I introduced RPA in one of the organizations, and the finance department was where I was actually working on the RPA projects. And now when we were done with the development of the robots, we went to them and we said that your robots are ready to run, and here is the laptop, and this is where you can run the robots. The person came to me and said, I cannot see the robot. Where is the robot? Where I cannot see it running, or I mean, where I have to go to trigger it, right? So there are certain myths about what actually the robot is, how it is. Is it a physical bot, or is it a something you can touch or something, right? So the RPA is not a human robot. It is, again, a software program that is sitting on your system, just like your other applications, right? So please make sure, no, it is not a human robot. And yes, the other myth that we have around RPA is that it is here to replace the humans. Okay, now there is again a myth that if something I'm doing is being done by the robot, I'm losing my job, right? No, this is not the completely true statement. The robots are here to help you out, to take out the robots out from you and help you to focus on more productive and the interesting and the funny tasks. You do not want to sit around and do the boring task, right? So this is where you have to collaborate with the robots. These are not here to replace you. So it is just another myth that you should not be worrying about. These are your friends. Okay, now coming to the next myth, which says that it is just the another cost-saving method, right? No, it is not. Yes, you can save a lot of, you can say, organization money, etc., right? But it is not the only purpose of introducing robotic process automation or RPA, right? It has lots of benefits when it is coming to the individual person, right? It can increase your productivity. It can save your time and efforts, which you spend in the boring tasks, and you can actually focus more on the strategic work. You can learn new things in the time the robot is doing your boring task, right? So it is not just another method for the cost saving or remove a person or just a human replacement method. No, it is not. So please make sure you do not trust these myths around the RPA, and you work with the robots and make your task easier and your life happier. Okay, with that, now we have understood about what is actually RPA. Now we have to also see what is the RPA capable of, right? If someone has to ask you, is this is something can be done by a bot or not? So this is what we are going to look at this particular screen now. Now, coming to the first one, these are some basic tasks. Definitely the bot is capable of doing more things, but this is just a few examples that we have written right now. So first thing is logging into an application. For example, if you go Office Daily and you have to log into 5 applications, 5 different applications, and it takes around say 30 minutes of your daily task, just simply logging into your system and logging into all the applications, right? So you do not want to start your day with this boring task. What you do is start your computer, start your bot, and let it set the workspace or the laptop for you, log in all the applications for you, and meanwhile you can prepare a coffee for you and start the productive work. Similarly, it can move the files and the folders if you're working into the task which involves lots of file handling, where you are handling with bulk files, right? You are downloading attachments from the email, right? You are then segregating them based on the date and time, or based on the sender, right? And then once you segregate these files, you want to zip them and send it back to certain senders, right? So here you are dealing with a lots of files and the folders handling. You are renaming the files, you are moving them across various folders, you are zipping them, you are attaching them as the email attachments, right? So this all can be easily done with a software robot, and you do not have to do these kind of repetitive tasks. So similarly, the since the bot can handle your web applications, log into them. Similarly, it can also handle the files and folders very easily. Now coming to the third one, which says scraping the data from the web. This is just now we discussed. If you want to read something from your screen, right? Checking, you are checking the current weather, right? You are checking the current price of a product. You are checking the current currency rate, right? You want the currency conversion. Anything that you want to read from the screen, this can also be easily done by a bot, right? So if your task, your day-to-day task involves anything which involves reading from the screen, please hand it over to the bot and you focus on your another funny or the interesting task. Now coming to the next one, which says extract content from the documents, PDFs, emails, and the forms, right? So I guess most of us interact with these kind of structured formats or the data a lot in our day-to-day life. For example, PDFs, which involve sometimes, say, invoices. If you're working in a finance department, you may be dealing with a lot of invoices, right? Similarly, emails, if you're a part of HR, if you're part of IT department, you must be dealing with a lot of emails, reading them, downloading the attachments, moving it to certain, replying forward, anything that you wanted to do with the emails, right? So again, if you are dealing with the email handling or the forms, PDFs, or the Excel handling, this can be easily done by a software robot. Again, open email and the attachments. This is something similar to what we have discussed, which is handling the files again, and then making the calculations. Yes, even the bot is able to make the calculations on your behalf if it has a predefined rule, right? So if you have 2 columns in your Excel and then you want to add those columns and put the result into the 3rd column using a robot, you can easily do it because the bot is also able to do any kind of arithmetic or any kind of calculations that you want to do. So now this gives you a quick overview of the capabilities of a software robot or the RPA bot. So when you are working with your task in your day-to-day life and you want to analyze, can this be automated? Please check this. If these are the criterias or these are the certain sequence of steps you're performing, then you're good to go to prepare a bot for you and hand over your boring task. Coming to the next one, which is the benefits of RPA. This is very much similar to what we have discussed right now. So till now we know what is RPA and what kind of task can be automated using the RPA. But now let's look at the major, you can say, features of why do we need RPA. And these are the major advantages we have listed right here, that the RPA adoption can help a particular business or a particular individual in these forms. Let's start with the first one, which says increased execution speed. So the task that you perform manually and the task performed by the robot has the speed difference, right? Something that you're doing manually, you're copy pasting something, you are manually clicking on some buttons, right? You are reading something from one source, pasting something to the another destination, right? You do all of these manually, but when a bot performs these kind of tasks, these are really fast and these can be done in seconds. So you actually save a lot of your time. So this is the major advantage. So when we said that one was the myth was that it is just a cost saving method. No, it is not just one of the cost saving method. You can also save a lot of your time by using the robot in your day-to-day life, right? Something that you take 1 hour can be done in 15 minutes. Then it means you have 45 minutes to actually spend it something very productive. Now coming to the next one, which says enhanced accuracy, right? So most of the time when we perform a task, there could be a possibility of human errors, right? You may read something else by mistake. You can type something by mistake, right? So there are certain human errors that are involved in when you perform a task manually. But when you train a robot to do a certain task, the errors are very much reduced, or they are like almost 0% of making errors by a bot. So this is again one of the best feature of using a robot, right? So if you're working in something very critical department, for example, a finance department, where even if you're entering an amount, right, and if you forget to enter a zero or append a zero, right, it makes a huge difference. So this small manual error can cost a lot to you or to the company, right? But when you're doing it with a bot, there are very rare chances that the bot will do such mistakes. So this is where you get the enhanced accuracy when you use the software robots. And now coming to the third one, which says improved regulatory compliance. Now, here you can say that now you are more compliant to the rules and regulations. Here I would like to give a quick example of in certain departments, we have the SLAs, or you can say, right, the estimated time when a particular task has to be finished. Otherwise, penalties are being introduced, right? So these kind of SLAs, for example, if you raise an IT ticket, there is always a SLA when it should be closed, right? It should be closed within 3 days, or if it's 2 days, 1 day, 24 hours, or whatever, right? So with the robot, there are very chances that you miss these kind of SLAs because of the improved speed, and it always, make sure that it, process all the tasks assigned to the person, right? So this is where you get a good compliance in your task, right? So this is one of the another major advantage of introducing RPA in your own company or at the individual level as well. Now, next comes the reduced cost of process execution. Yes, this is one of the benefits that can be achieved. So if you say, right, if something that you are doing in 1 hour and if the bot is doing it in 15 minutes, right? Similarly, now if you multiply, if you have more number of bots or more number of tasks being executed by the robot, right? So you are actually saving a lot of cost for your company, right? By giving more productive and more results within limited time or within the less amount of time. So this is where the cost of a particular project gets really good when the software robots are being introduced, right? Now comes the easier scaling. Okay, so with this, the scaling of the robots is completely easy. When I say scaling, it means, so if we have developed one robot, right, that is, for example, performing email automation, it's reading the emails, downloading the attachments and doing something with those attachments, zipping it and sending it back to your clients, right? If this is a software robot that has been trained for the email attachment automation, right? Now, if you really want this task to be performed parallelly 10 times, you can actually have 10 robots doing the same kind of task, right? So this scaling is easier. You do not need 10 members to perform the same kind of task. We have 10 robots. Now, if you also want the robot to, after the attachment part or after the email part, you also want the Excel automation to be done by the same robot. You can actually train the robot on the Excel automation. So within the bot, within the single bot, you have the email and the Excel automation, right? But if you take one person, you have to actually train them from the scratch, right? That this is the email task that you have to do, and then followed by the Excel automation. But if you say you already had a bot that was doing the email automation, you just introduce the Excel automation to that bot. And now this bot can actually perform, you can say 10 times in a day or parallelly across 10 number of times, right? So this is how the easiest scaling of a particular task can be achieved with the RPA. So yes, I mean, this is why we need the RPA, not just because of the cost saving, but yes, at the individual level, you can save a lot of your time, efforts, accuracy, compliance, and the cost. All of these can be achieved with the RPA, right? So this is why it is actually really good to start your journey with the RPA. Now coming to the next topic, which says, what are the processes best suited for RPA? Now, not all the process can be automated using the RPA, because there are certain criteria that has to be met before we say that this can be automated or this cannot be automated. So these are the very basic 3 checklists that you should make sure before you say that you want to automate your task, right? So there could be more, but that are not very much, relevant to deciding. But these are the best suited, checklist criteria. So now if you look at the definition, it says the processes that are simple, structured, and can be easily mimicked by a machine are best suited for RPA, right? So if you look at these three checklists, starting with the first one, which says that your task should be repetitive. I guess the term itself is very much explanatory, that it should be repeating a number of times. The frequency should be more. Now, for example, if you are reading the emails only once in a month, that does not make a sense to automate, because the time you invest to create a bot is more than the time you are opening an email. So yes, you can automate, but it is not best suited for the RPA candidate. So make sure that something that you want to automate is repetitive a number of times. You are doing it very frequently. You are doing it on a day-to-day basis, or at least weekly, right? So make sure that the tasks are repetitive. Those are the ones that are best suited for RPA. Coming to the second one, which says rule-based, right? When we say rule-based, it means you can actually define it with the particular rule. You can tell your task, or you can explain your task using a simple sequence or a flow chart, right? That you are doing step 1, step 2, step 3. If this particular condition is there, then do step 4, otherwise do step 5. So you have a predefined rules that defines the flow of your task. These are called the rule-based tasks, which does not involve the human judgment or the experience of a person, right? So for example, if I say, okay, can a bot take the interview of a person, right? You just have to ask the questions and the person will be giving the answers. So can the bot take the interview? No, because here the human judgment is being required. You have to judge the capability of a person, right, based on the answers you are giving. Here your experience comes into the picture. If you are more experienced, you can actually tell if the person is best suited for the organization or not, right? So it involves kind of human judgment for you to say, right? So these are not the process that are well suited for the RPA. It should be very, very simple, straightforward, and rule-based, which says, for example, if your total amount is greater than 500, then stop the bot and send the email. If your total amount of, is more than 500, then continue with the, you can say the transaction, right? So this is very much specific rule based. You are just checking the amount. If it's greater than 500 or less than 500, then follow this path, otherwise follow this particular path, right? So these are the best suited for the RPA. Now coming to the third one, which says the input or the whole, the input or the output that involves in the whole process should be very much structured. So if you're reading something, or if you're typing something, or any kind of input that is involved in the process should be structured. It should follow a kind of a format. For example, if I say an Excel file, right? Now the Excel file is a completely structured format where you have a tabular data in the form of rows and the columns. You can easily read such kind of data using the column names or using the row numbers. So, right. So this is what we say kind of structured data. Similarly, if you are reading something from the application, right, and if it is very much structured into a form of a pattern or a tabular format, then this is what we say kind of structured data, which is not scattered. Now, if you say you have some data in a PDF file, right, which does not follow a pattern, there are words that are sometimes on a page 1, sometimes on a page 2, and there are no specific locations where you will find those particular content on a PDF, then that does not fall into the structured format, right? So make sure that these 3 checklists are followed when you decide if you should be creating a software robot for you or not. Make sure it is repetitive, make sure it is rule-based, and make sure that the input that we're using is very well structured. Okay, now we have almost covered a good understanding of the RPA. We started with what is RPA and why do we need the RPA? What are the benefits? What are the various myths around the RPA? And what are the processes that are well suited for the RPA? But is it limited to a particular function or the area in the organization? The answer is no. It is not limited to say HR department or the finance or the IT. Any particular function or the individual in the company can actually use these bots or the software robots, but here are the certain functions or you can say the domains we have listed to just give you an overview of where the software robots have been extensively used right now. And if you fall under any of these domains, then you are at the perfect place to kickstart your RPA journey, right? Okay, so the use of RPA in business, we have to now look at some of the domains that use it. Now, starting with the finance. So personally, the first robot I created was for the finance department itself, right? So when it comes to the finance, we deal with a lot of Excel and the ERP systems, right? If I say ERP system, the first pictures that comes to the mind is the SAP, right? So if you see in the finance department, we work with a lot of structured data and a lot of repetitive tasks and a lot of rule-based tasks, right? So you do invoice processing, you do accounts receivable, accounts payable, everything that you do, right? So this all can be easily done with the RPA, and the finance is the department which actually extensively uses RPA in their journey, right? You can create the pivot tables, you can check or you can do the accounts reconciliation. Now here, if you see at the supply chain, this is also something similar, right? Inventory management, invoice and control management. Here in the finance, you have the order to cash, right? And record to report. So these are the certain, kind of process that are well suited for the RPA in these domains. Similarly, if you come to the accounting, you have accounts, reports, reconciliation, account creation, and the update. And a lot of these tasks involve what else? Only the Excel and the SAP systems. And the UiPath is the best suited for such kind of applications if you want to interact with the Excel or any of the ERP systems. It's very easy to automate such kind of applications, right? Now, similarly, coming to the IT department, if you see, you have certain tasks, right? Like routine maintenance and the monitoring, server and the app monitoring. Similarly, if there are a few examples in the IT, for example, the ticketing tool, right? You have certain tickets that has been raised to the IT department, but if they follow certain rule, right, you can completely automate them. There is a ticket in the service now that has been created for the IT department. And if there is a predefined resolution, you can simply paste that resolution in the comments and close that particular ticket, right? So even the IT department is extensively using RPA. Similarly, coming to the HR department, okay, so this is the another department where I have done a lot of automation because again, the applications that the HR interacts are very well suited for the RPA. If you see, HR interacts with the Word documents, which involves, say, resumes, right? They interact with a lot of Excel applications because whenever there's an onboarding or the offboarding happening, everything that involves or the data that is saved is in the Excel format. Similarly, the applications that the HR uses are very well suited for the RPA industry, right? So for example, the payroll, the onboarding and offboarding. So onboarding is not only done for one employee, it is always done for around, say, 300 employees. So now something that you're doing for one employee, you have to repeat it for another 299 employees, right? So this is a huge repetitive and a boring task, and HR department is where the RPA is booming a lot. Similarly, coming to the client services, we have the address change requirements or the scheduling appointments. All of these can be easily done with the RPA. So these are the certain business areas where the RPA is booming a lot. And if you fall under any of these domains, then again, I will say that you should actually start working with the RPA. Before that, let me run a quick video to show you the HR department automation so that we are not talking a lot and we could see something.
Hi, my name is Alex Sands, and I'm here to show you real RPA in action. My work in pre-sales involves traveling to different clients and demonstrating the capabilities of automation on different types of processes. Today, I want to show you the impact of RPA on a core function in every organization that affects all of us, the Human Resources Department. While it's known by many names, people operations, human capital, employee experience, you name it, I have yet to encounter a company without HR. Recruitment, onboarding, establishing employee benefits, and organizing performance reviews are some of the main responsibilities of any HR employee, not to mention all of the paperwork and admin duties that come along with them. In fact, RPA in action. My work in pre-sales involves traveling to different clients and demonstrating the capabilities of automation on different types of processes. Today, I want to show you the impact of RPA on a core function in every organization that affects all of us, the Human Resources Department. While it's known by many names, people operations, human capital, employee experience, you name it, I have yet to encounter a company without HR. Recruitment, onboarding, establishing employee benefits, and organizing performance reviews are some of the main responsibilities of any HR employee, not to mention all of the paperwork and admin duties that come along with them. In fact, at some larger companies, entire teams are dedicated exclusively towards these kind of tasks. Consider the process of pre-boarding and onboarding new employees. There can be a ton of documents to be prepared, filled in, signed, and sent to other departments or public institutions throughout the process. In other words, a lot of work that no one really wants to do. Here's how a robot could free up some time. It all starts with the ID of a new hire, which could be received via email or handed over and scanned. Either way, with our new automated process, the only thing that an HR rep needs to do is place the digital ID document in a designated folder. The HR rep then chooses the appropriate sub-process, kicking off the robot and, in our case, reading the ID. This is done quickly in this example. However, the speed and accuracy may depend on the quality of the ID scan. Reading an image may seem simple for humans, but for robots to be able to do the same, they need to make use of a special technology, which is known as optical character recognition, or OCR for short. Once the document is read by the robot, the HR rep has the opportunity to validate the collected data, adjust it, and add further information, such as employee hiring date. Then, watch what happens. The robot starts to fill in the designated fields in the document with all the data that's been gathered. Note how this is done almost instantly and without any errors. Meanwhile, the HR rep can now focus instead on establishing a personal connection with the new hire, thus providing a more enjoyable onboarding experience for all. In short, the HR rep gets to do valuable work, while the robot takes care of all the tedious activities. Once the documents are finalized, the robot is then instructed to send them via email to a different department and to store them in a secure shared drive location. There is no need to check the robot's work at this point because, again, the robot's work error-free. There's a good chance you've experienced some version of this process as a new employee. The difference now is that with RPA, it can be done faster and with 0 errors. Of course, in order to truly understand how this automation was built, you'll need to learn more about the UiPath Platform suite and some of the concepts and technologies used. So, stay tuned.
Okay, so this was one of the basic automation that the HR department usually do, right? So yes, it has the capability to do the automation across various functions and across various domains. It was just an example to show you the capabilities of the RPA. With that, Christina, would you like to start with the Menti quiz?
Hello, yes, so it's Menti time. Nidhi, if you can share now the Mentimeter presentation on the screen.
Yeah.
So guys, all of you should go to menti.com for the first 2 questions of the quiz. So just go to menti.com and then we're going to share with you a code to enter this quiz. Okay, So the code is, I will write it down here so it will be. If the melody is too much for you, just turn your volumes lower. So come on, we're going to wait for more of you to join. 29115533, the code to enter the quiz at menti.com. We have a big colored family here. Bears, watermelons, fish. Even Casper is here. To join. Come on, we're still growing fast. Needy people are asking whether you can stop the music. Okay.
Yeah, done.
Okay, so the music stopped. Now you can concentrate on the quiz. We're going to wait.
Yeah, but the music was fun.
Yes, Afe, you were saying something?
I said the music was fun.
It was fun, but it's fun for us. For them, it might be a bit distracting because they want to keep attention to the questions. But you should know that the music was only during this phase. During the question, you had no music. Never mind, we can watch all the little animals and detectives gathering up here. Okay, we're still growing. We're going to give you like 30 more seconds to join, and then we start the quiz. I think everyone who wanted to join, joined because I see the numbers stop. Okay, 10 more seconds for menti.com, 29115533. Well, yeah, we have mixed tastes about the music. But then again, we had some music and then we had none, so everyone is pleased now. Okay, let's start the quiz now, Nidhi. So guys, watch out for the first question and pay attention. And answer fast. If you answer fast, you get more points. So what human-computer interactions can be easily automated? Mouse movements and clicks, checking correct answers, drawing a unicorn in Paint program. You have 7 more seconds to answer. Okay. Yes, most of you got it right. Let's see the leaderboard now, Nidhi, to see who is heading the competition after the first question, and then we're going to move on to the next. Yes, guys, if you have the answers, please do not just type them in the chat. Let everyone have their fun and their own try. But Jessica, that was it's admirable that you wanted to help the others, so it's okay. Very supportive. Don't worry. Okay, let's see who is leading. So Connor is leading with 960 points, Connor. Okay, let's see if you can keep that position until the end. Let's go to the second question now. Okay, guys, pay attention because you need to answer fast. Okay. Can you just click for next, Nidhi? What types of processes would be hard or impossible to automate? So what would be hard to automate? Repetitive, rule-based, involving decision-making levels. Just make sure that this is an exception answer. So be careful when you answer. Okay, I hope everyone, good, yeah. Almost everyone got it right, -3. That's good. Let's see the leaderboard to see if Connor maintained the pole position. Not really. Congrats, Andrew. And Connor is on third place. There is still time to reverse this. Usually we have complete reversed like outcomes in the end after the next 2 questions. So just stay attentive during the presentation and wait for the 2 more questions at the end of the presentation. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you had a bit of fun. And now we're going to continue with the presentation. Thank you, Nidhi, for that.
Thank you so much, guys. I guess most of you guys got the right answer. So I'm happy that at least someone is able to understand the session. Okay, with that, let's start with the introduction of UiPath now, because we have been talking a lot about the RPA or the robotic process automation or the software robots. But the company that has made your automation easier is UiPath, which is the leader in the RPA industry and which is the top RPA vendors. So this is where the UiPath stands, and let's look at the journey of UiPath. Okay, so the journey started in 2005 with a simple screen scraping method, and then it started with the UiPath founded, which was in the Romania. So this is somewhere when the UiPath was actually founded. And then the journey continued with the few more additions into the you can say the product, where we had introduced the UiPath, the UI automation, and then few more components in the UiPath product suite, right? And then near to the 2018, there was a vision of the company with a robot for every person. So this was a major, you can say a drastic, you can say, vision that came into the RP industry that made the UiPath really the top leaders among the RP vendors. So with the vision of a robot for every person, now you have the tool which is a lot easier for even the non-technical person to start their RPA journey. And this is what we will be looking today, that how the UiPath StudioX, which was a tool that was introduced by the UiPath with the vision, so that even every person or individual person can automate their day-to-day task and start their RPA journey, right? Now, so with this path-breaking vision, then there were again more additions into the UiPath products with, you can say, AI computer vision, AI center, and the process mining and the test suite. I could see there was a question about the test suite also in the chat box, right? And then similarly, automation cloud apps. So these are the more products from the UiPath, and these adds up to the UiPath suite, and they are more around the artificial intelligence or the machine learning that makes the automation more robust and intelligent, right? But with keeping the various users in mind, right? We have citizen developers which do not have the technical knowledge. We have RPA developers which have little technical knowledge. And then we have the pro RPA developers who are very well versed with the technical terms or artificial intelligence or the machine learning, or you can say the advanced concepts of the programming, right? So keeping in mind these kind of different users of the RPA, the UiPath has introduced different products. So this is one of the can say the path-breaking vision of UiPath, that it is not limited to the one kind of user or one kind of business person. For every kind of user, you have a certain product from the UiPath suite. And it is not only during the development that you can use certain products. If you are you can say you are using the product for the insights related, right? Currently, you are using Power BI dashboards, or you are using Tableau or any kind of insights tool, right? Still, the UiPath also have these kind of the products with you where you can also use the insights. or when you are doing the process mining. The process mining is nothing but deciding whether a particular process is suited for the RPA or not. So even you do not have to do it from your own. You have the product already that can tell you that you should automate this or not. What is going to be the return of investment from this automation, or is it feasible to do the automation or not? So even these kind of products has been introduced. So for each phase or for the life cycle, the whole RPA life cycle, you have each product from the UiPath. So this has been the journey of UiPath across from 2005 to 2021. And now if you look at the mission of the UiPath is to deliver the fully automated enterprise. When we say fully automated enterprise, it means a robot for every person, for every stage of the task that they do, right? So yes, this is about the UiPath, which is one of the vendors, the leaders in the RPA industry. And now coming to the UiPath platform, let's understand what are the various components in the UiPath platform. So these are the three basic ones that we will be looking today. There are a few more advanced, which we will skip as of now because this is just a beginner's one. You will be getting to know about these products or these components in the later sessions, right? So the UiPath suite has three core components, which are the first one is Studio, right? So Studio is the tool where you design your automations, where you decide what you want the bot to do. What are the set of actions you want to automate? What are the set of actions you want the bot to perform on your behalf? So all of these designing of the bot is where you do in the Studio. So this is where you develop your robot. So once you have created your robot, right, where you want to deploy it, you will be deploying it into the orchestrator. Now these are nothing but, you can say a kind of technical term, say orchestrator, but do not get confused. It is just a repository to control, manage, and monitor your robots, right? So when you are creating 10, 100, 50, or any number of robots, you need some kind of controlling and the managing mechanism. You would be creating all of these on your local systems, right? Now, for example, if I've created a robot on my personal laptop, and now, for example, I do not use my personal laptop anymore. I got my new laptop, right? And now the bot that I created was in my previous laptop. How can I migrate this now? How can I get my previous bot, which I created on my previous laptop, right? So this is where the orchestrator comes into the picture. You can manage all your robots at a central repository, which is nothing but can be on a cloud, right? So you have SharePoint, you have Google Drive, say for example. What does Google Drive give you? It gives you a central repository where you can push all your data and you can access it anytime and anywhere, right? Similarly, with the orchestrator, you can access your robots on any machine. It will not be a machine dependent. So this is where the orchestrator comes into the picture. But if you want to limit your bot only till your system, then definitely you can just go ahead with the Studio and run your robot, right? Now with that, we have deployed a robot, for example, to the orchestrator. Now coming to the robot, what actually is a robot? We have been using this term a lot, right? And now when we say Studio only helps you to design, but some software component that helps that particular design to run is your robot. So something that runs your task automation that you have just designed on the Studio is your robot. So these are the primary or the mandatory components when you work with the RPA using the UiPath suite, right? So it's very much non-technical terms I've tried. So Studio is where you will design. Robot is what will execute your task or the robot. Orchestrator is where you can manage and control all your robots, right? So these are the three basic components. And yes, with that, let's understand what are the citizen developers. So I'm sure you must have heard this term a lot when we say UiPath Studio or UiPath StudioX. For that, let me just go back again to the previous slide. So when I was talking about the Studio, right? So Studio actually comes under three profiles, which is UiPath StudioX, UiPath Studio, and UiPath Studio Pro. So as we discussed, that based on the end users who is using the product, or the studio, or who is going to automate their task. If someone who does not have the much knowledge of the technical terms or the programming concepts, then we have a profile called StudioX. If someone who has a little bit of programming background, then they can use UiPath Studio. Someone who wants to do the mobile automations or machine learning or artificial intelligence, all of these advanced concepts, they can use Studio Pro, right? So to design a robot for end users, we have three you can say profile or the flavors. Now, this is where the StudioX came into the picture, and the term called citizen developers was coined. Now, what the citizen developers are? So the citizen developers are non-technical person who learn how to automate and want to use their skills to create simple automations for themselves or their departments in order to make more time for the higher value task. Right? So citizen developers are the non-technical person. It does not mean that they do not know how to run an application, but they are not very much familiar with the programming concepts or the advanced technical terms, right? So, but they know how the basic business applications run. They are very well with the Word, or you can say Excel, or any other business applications that they use, right? But they are not very good in the programming concepts. Then these are called the citizen developers. But they, yes, still have a little bit of technical terms of the knowledge, right? So StudioX can be used for these citizen developers to create personal automations, which are very basic, simple, right? Now, what can citizen developers do? Learn how to build and run robots to make their work lives better. Again, they can create day-to-day tasks, right? They do not want to create very complex, automations that do wonders. But yes, something that they are doing day-to-day, which is repetitive, boring, and manual, they just want to automate, and which involves very basic business applications. For example, Excel, again, Word, PDFs, emails, SAP. So these are the very basic business applications a citizen developer interact with, right? And then automate the everyday work they do. Similarly, something that they do on a daily basis, right? Learn about the product that improve your automation experience. Now, these are the other UiPath products that helps a citizen developer more. We will be looking at it in the later sessions, but UiPath StudioX, this is what we will be installing today, because you will be using this product to create all your bots in the upcoming sessions. Now, take part in knowledge sharing sessions and groundbreaking discussions. With this, I mean, if you are very much familiar with the RPA concepts, right? And if you're very much familiar with what are software robots, or what kind of process can be automated. So you can actually be a part of the RPA discussions that are going in your organization. You can put your ideas ahead, right? You can be a part of RPA COEs if in your organizations. Similarly, you can throw more ideas about what can be automated. If you cannot do the automation, but still you can propose it to the team that why don't we do this automation? Only if you're familiar with the RPA concepts, right? Now, with that, coming with the next, which is the UiPath StudioX. So this is what I said. This is the UiPath tool, which helps you to create very basic, simple robots for your day-to-day tasks. So this is your development profile where you create the bot. So you can say with the UiPath StudioX, business users get a no-code platform to automate their tasks. So it is a no-code platform. You do not need any coding or the programming background. It is very basic drag and drop tool, which anyone can learn, right? And now with that, let's start with the installation. So it would be good if you can follow along with me in the installation. And
I will share the link in the chat. Just wait a bit, guys. Immediately. Wait. Okay. So what we're going to start now is teach you how to make an account in UiPath Automation Cloud, so you can download the StudioX Community Edition. So this is a big part of what follows, just setting up the account and downloading StudioX, which you will be using in the following sessions of the RPA Summer School. So please go to this link that I am pasting in the chat. For Mac OS there is a special installation guide for Mac OS. It was written in the event description. You can find it there. And I will search for the link now to give you the scenario so you can do it in follow-up on Mac OS. So guys, you should go in the link I shared. Go to the link I shared in the chat. And from there onwards, you will be looking at what Nidhi is doing. And afterwards, we'll also be sharing some resources on this. Community license is free, yes. So all download you will be doing now is free. So this is the link. You will have a very good idea about what you can use this free community license for in the following sessions. This is for Priyanka, who is asking whether to schedule jobs when you need to purchase a license. Okay, Nidhi, can you go now to Automation Cloud?
Sure. So guys, this is the URL that Christina has pasted, which is cloud.uipath.com. This is the URL for the Automation Cloud, and you will need to create an account in this particular portal. So this will be the landing page if you go to the screen, and then here you have the sign up button. So if you haven't already created the account, go and click on the sign up. And then this is the page that you will be getting. If you're not able to follow me with the screen, you can follow the words that I'm telling you to follow. So maybe because of the limited time, we may not be able to take much of the pause. So if you are here on the sign up page, you go and click on sign up with email. Once you go on this page, you will see this particular form to be filled. It is nothing but to create an account with the Automation Cloud. And here in the organization name, the first text box, this can be any dummy value. You do not have to make sure that the organization that you're working on, you have to mention that or something. You can just mention your name as well. So I'm mentioning my name, and you can mention yours if you want, right? And then just fill up the basic information with your first name. And here I am mentioning the last name.
Guys,
and then
here, please be careful to enter your own credentials. Yeah, not the credentials that Nidhi is typing in. You can put in a dummy organization name. It doesn't have to be necessarily your organization. It can be a nickname, or it can be your own name for organization name. But all the other data have to be your name and your unique email address. So do not use the data Nidhi is using, because she will not sign up with it at the end. So if you want to be able to download StudioX, just place credentials here to be able to make an account for download.
Yes, that's correct. So make sure that you're putting your personal information and not mine. And then mention the email with which you want to create the account. So this should be your personal email, because you will be getting the activation link on this particular email. So make sure the account that is active and you're using should be mentioned in the email address. Again, create a strong password for it. So make sure it is following all the criteria. And once you're done with filling the information, just make sure that you do the checkbox of these two terms and the conditions, and then finally click on the sign up button. Once you click on the sign up button, an activation link will be sent to your email account that you have just now mentioned. So make sure you go and click on the activation link. So I already have the account created, so I'll be not doing the sign up as of now, but if you click on the sign up button, you will get the activation link. Once you're done with it, kindly mention in the chat box if you have done till this step and you're done with the sign up.
Okay, so I see everyone managed to do the sign up. We can now move into the cloud. Okay, so Nidhi will be signing in because she already has an account. You will need probably to check the link you have on email and go into the cloud, activate your account. So we will take like 10 seconds for that to make sure everyone has time to activate their accounts. And guys, start telling us when you activated the accounts.
So once you click on the activate account link, you will be by default redirected to the automation cloud sign-in page. And into the sign-in page, just mention the email account just with the account that you have used to create the automation cloud. So I already have mentioned the email account that I used while creating or while signing up with the automation cloud. So you can see I already have this here. I guess most of you are able to, okay, I guess I can see in the comment. Now I will be signing in. So mention the password that you used while signing up. So I'm mentioning the password for the automation cloud and again, click on the sign in button. Okay, again, so this
Nidhi is now entering automation cloud, then you will go to the download page. Okay.
Right. Okay, so if you see this kind of pop-up, don't worry, just click on this green button, continue to existing organization. This may take some time to load, so no worries. And this will be the homepage of the UiPath Automation Cloud. You have successfully logged in. And now people who have already logged in, you can make sure that you are at the home tab under this, right? And you can see the download UiPath Studio here, this particular blue button. So just click on the button and the download will be start. So depending on your internet speed, it will take some time to download the installer file. So I hope you guys are able to follow me. So the components that we discussed, right? UiPath Studio, UiPath Orchestrator, and the robot. These are the three basic, and you can see the mandatory components to get you started. And currently we are downloading UiPath Studio setup file. And by default, the robot component will be installed on your machine. You do not have to do it, separately. So no worries, this is just a single installer file. And with this file, all the RPA components or the UiPath components that you need will be by default installed on your machine.
Nidhi, wait a bit, because we have some questions. I want to take them now. So for the Mac users, there was a disclaimer and a link in the event link. So when you checked in for this session, we had options there for the Mac users. I just reshared the link and the disclaimer or how to use UiPath on Mac. So if you have Mac OS, you will need to do that in follow-up. Just open the link and check the options on how you are able to install Mac on Mac UiPath products, because that blog post will take you directly through the tutorial for Mac OS. And then once you download it, the thing is the same program, but you have three options. You will have StudioX, Studio, and Studio Pro. You will choose StudioX from the profiles. So it's not meant only for Studio and Studio Pro, it's meant for all three, but you choose the profile for StudioX because that is the profile for citizen developers and it has totally different features. So everyone should choose StudioX in order to be able to perform now and to perform in the following sessions, the automations. Okay, thank you, Nidhi. I think
that's good.
StudioX.
Can you come again, Christina? Sorry.
I think now we can open StudioX just to make a show of the program, and for the rest and the add-ins installation we will have in the second session. So just for everyone to be able to open StudioX and to choose the profile for StudioX.
Okay, I guess I installed the StudioX so that I could show them from the scratch.
Okay.
But no worries, I guess we can follow along, and I'll do the installation from the scratch, and it may take a few more time.
No, I think it's okay if you just open the program you have and you switch profile to StudioX.
Yes. So guys, once you install the UiPath Studio setup file, which will be something named as UiPath Studio setup.exe, and you just have to do the double click on it. Once you do the double click, it will start the installation. And the installation is for all the three profiles, as Christina said, which is for StudioX, Studio, and Studio Pro. And you just have to choose the right profile, which is StudioX. And you can switch between the profiles, no worries. If you anytime want to go to the studio, you can go ahead with the same installer file. And yes, again, it may take a while. Meanwhile, we can take few more questions from the chat if you want, Christina.
Yeah, I think, let me see. So we had a lot of questions of the profile. The thing is, if you switch to the other profiles for Pro or Studio, these are the profiles for more advanced developers. So citizen developers has features which are especially designed for you, and you will be able to work with it. If you go to Studio or Studio Pro, you might not be able to work with the program. Then again, we have questions regarding Mac. There is not a special download installer for Mac. There is something like a bypass for Mac. This is what the blog tutorial teaches you, how you are able to install for Mac. So if you go,
yes.
Okay.
So let me just share, meanwhile, the installation is being done, that you can actually switch the profiles. So currently I'm in UiPath Studio, if you know, and you don't have to do anything.
Can you maximize, Nidhi? Yeah.
Sure. So here you go. So if by mistake you have clicked on the UiPath Studio, you just have to go to the settings tab, and there you can see the license and profile option. And if you go and choose view or change profile, you will be able to see these three options, which is Studio Pro, Studio, and StudioX. So since citizen developers are there and we have to use UiPath StudioX, which do not have the technical knowledge much, so make sure you choose this particular profile. And so once you switch the profiles, it will ask you to restart your UiPath, so no worries. And now you can see from the UiPath Studio, you have changed to the UiPath StudioX. So this is the same installer file. You have all the three profiles in the same tool. You just need to switch between the profiles and you can start working on the profile similarly. So this particular screen is for the UiPath StudioX or the citizen developers.
In here, you should click close. Yeah, I think this is what we had someone saying it took them to Academy. So when that appears, click close. That is a simple like a promo option to get extended knowledge on StudioX. You should just close the screen. It is not an alternative program.
Right.
And close the option screen. So wait, we still have some questions. So the screen with options, you just close it. After you choose StudioX, you close the next pop-up screen, and then you just go into the program. So if there are any other pop-ups that appear after you install StudioX and you chose the StudioX profiles, all the other pop-ups, just close them.
Yeah. Okay, so starting with the installation. So once you double click on the setup file, you will be landed up to this particular screen, which is the UiPath installation. And by default, the service URL will be auto-populated, which is cloud.uipath.com, which is nothing but the URL for the automation cloud. It will help you to connect with your account by default. So again, you do not have to do anything. Just click on the sign in button. And once you click on the sign in button, it will automatically open the automation cloud platform. And then you will see this pop-up, open UiPath. Just say open UiPath option. If I'm not able to follow me, no worries, the recording will be shared. but make sure that you install UiPath StudioX for the upcoming sessions. And again, this may take a while to set up all the components on your screen. So this is what is the major part and where most of the people do mistakes. So make sure here, when you are at the choose a profile screen, you choose UiPath StudioX. Yes, you can anytime switch between the profiles, but it is good that you choose the UiPath StudioX in the initial state itself. So once you choose, now it is launching the UiPath StudioX platform for you. So this is where you're going to develop all your robots and kickstart your RPA journey. And there you go. You will see this particular pop-up, which is nothing but instruction guide. Yeah, Christina, you were saying something?
Yeah, this is, I think many got lost here. Guys, when you see this pop-up, this particular pop-up, which is now on screen, just click close. So do not choose any of the options, just close it.
Yes. Okay. So this is nothing but an instruction manual if you wanted to learn more about the tool. So just close this from here or here, from anywhere you want. So we are done. So this is the backstage view of UiPath StudioX and where all your automations will be created. So let me quickly give you a brief overview of all the options that you see right now. If you go to the settings here, which we just now saw, and if you go to the license and profile, view or change profile option here, and here you can switch between the profiles anytime if you want, but you should not be requiring this. This is just to let you know if you by default choose any of the tools. Now coming to the tools sections, now these are the extensions that you will need when you are interacting with these applications. So you will be needing these extensions for your upcoming sessions. So if you are doing any automation on a Chrome browser, make sure you install this extension. If you are doing any automation on Excel, make sure you install this extension. Similarly, if you're working on a Firefox browser or the Edge browser, make sure you install these extensions, right? So now if you go back to the start, now this is your home page. This is where under the new project tab, you can create your projects. And these are the predefined templates for you that you can use if you do not want to make anything from the scratch. These are your recently opened projects, which you can see. Now let me create a quick task and name it as Hello World.
Okay, guys, so now you're going, this is not an exercise you need to do with Needy. This is just an exercise that Needy will do in order to showcase you the first capabilities of the program. So it will be a quick demo. You do not need to follow up. You just need to stay attentive. In the second session, you will do this on your own and with the trainer we have in the second session. Now we are just going to see it and to see how a small bot runs. Yeah. So Needy will be quick while doing this bot.
Yeah. You do not need to follow. Just make sure that you are listening so that you are ready for the next sessions. Right. Yes. And meanwhile, let me open one of the bots that I would like to show you.
Just to make it clear for everyone, yes, the recording will be available tomorrow on the event link. You have the summer school link, which has all 4 sessions there. On session 1 and after each session, you are going to have the content available if you RSVP to that session. So make sure you RSVP in order to access the sessions which are on different time zone or to access in follow-up the content. You will have presentation and recording there.
Okay, again, this may take some time to load your project, so no worries again, please be patient. So this is actually creating a blank task for you where you will be creating all your automations, defining what you want to achieve using the bot, right? So this is slowly getting loaded. So let me give you a quick overview of what you see on the screen right now. So when you create a blank task, you will see the activities panel right here. Under the activities panel, you will see different cards, and these have been categorized based on the applications that you want to automate. So if you want to automate the Excel applications, you go to the Excel card, and all the automation tasks that you can do are listed right here. You will be using them in the upcoming sessions, so no worries. If you want to automate a mail task, then if you go to mail, you can see all the actions that you can use using the bot are listed right here. Similarly for the Word and the all other applications. So these are called the activities, which are the basic building blocks of your automation. What the actions that you want to perform is what has been listed here. You will do just nothing, just a drag and drop right here and create the automation workflow. Now, if you look at this design panel, this is again very much basic and simple. This button, green button, is to run your robot. And again, this is the recordings. If you want to record your robot actions, again, this will be covered in the upcoming sessions. So this is called the ribbon panel, which gives you the design features or the design, you can say controls, where you can save your bot, you can copy, paste, undo, right? You can work on a particular Excel notebook, and all of these will be covered later in the session. So again, if you go to the properties panel, so the activities that you use, what are the properties of those, what do you want to type or anything, will be covered something here. So again, this is something you are going to see in the upcoming sessions, right? So this is the homepage of the StudioX, and since you are very much familiar with this now, so this is a very basic bot I have created, and you will be creating this in the next session. So make sure you RSVP for that. And let me open a URL called rpasamples.com and the unicorn generator, and we are ready to see the magic of automation. So what will be happening right now is I'll be generating my unicorn name using the automation. So this is the automation that I've created using these activities, and this is the green button that I'll be pressing to run the robot. So this is the StudioX panel where I have created the task, but when I click on the run button, there is a program in the backend called UiPath robot, which will run this automation. So I have pressed the run button now. And once your bot will start the execution, you will see it has opened the URL for you. And it should start entering the name and the month and get the unicorn name. Okay. Let me quickly see what's happening here. No worries, it's just the internet speed of mine. Cool. Let me stop it and try to run it again. Okay, so here is a small error because the extension has not been installed. So this is the error handling in the UiPath StudioX. Just stop the bot if you see these kind of errors. So what I told you right now is when you want to interact with the web browser, you have to install the extension. So go to tools and go to Chrome, and you will be installing the extension. Press OK right here. And Chrome browser process are still running. Do you want to close it? Say again, okay. And your extension has been successfully installed. And now you can work with the Chrome for your automations. So last run failed because we did not have the Chrome extension installed. So I will just open the Chrome browser again. And this is the URL. Now I'll again run the bot. And let me show you the screen of the unicorn. Okay, let me run it again. Cool. Okay, let me just quickly tweak it a little bit, since this was done in one of the previous sessions.
I think you can go directly to that recording, Nidhi, if you want to showcase the automation.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me give you the link. It will be.
Or maybe I can quickly show you. I have it right here. Okay, so all of these exercises that you do, or something that I was showing you right now, you will be performing in the next session. So if you want to run this automation, make sure you attend the next session again. And I should have something similar which I created, and here is the one. So this is the automation that I was trying to show you right now. And we will be generating the unicorn name. And this was the application. This is something you will be doing in the next session. And just skip all of this. This is where I'm creating the bot. This is something I had already created and I was running it. And now here the workflow is done. And I will simply run the bot. And this is the complete workflow. So we have refreshed the page, and I'm using the Excel here to read the name and the month. And when I click on the run button, it will read the information from the Excel, put it right here, get the unicorn name, and write it back into the Excel. So it opened the Excel, and this is something the bot is doing right now. And this is the unicorn name that we got. And you can see the last run successful particular. And if you open the Excel back, you will get the unicorn name back in the Excel. So here you can see the unicorn name by default filled by the bot. So this is something you will be creating in the next session, so no worries. And we could not run it because I installed the UiPath Studio again from the scratch and had the extension and all everything installed again. So I may need to tweak a little bit. So again, no worries. Coming back to the presentation, and I guess we have covered everything. We had done the sign up. We have downloaded the UiPath StudioX. We ran the installation file and sign into the UiPath, and we chose the StudioX profile. Again, there are resources that you can follow. And these are the UiPath StudioX main features that we had already looked right now, right? The ribbon tab, the activities panel, the backstage view, the profiles that you can choose. So this is something that has been covered right here. We saw the error handling. We saw a particular pop-up when the robot was not able to execute. I had 3 options to either skip, retry, or stop. So this is something, error handling technique in the bot, right? So whenever your bot gets stuck, you will get 3 options, which we saw, right? So similarly, for the applications that you want to automate, you could already see there were the common cards under the activities panel, so you can use them across. So these are nothing but the main features that we have listed right here. And now we are open for the Q&A. Before that, I guess we have one more Menti quiz, Christina?
Yeah, please go to the Menti now, Nidhi. So guys, pay attention now. After the Menti, we will start 10 minutes about Q&A. We don't have much time. We need to finish up about a quarter to next hour, whichever hour is for you. So in about a quarter of an hour, we need to close the session. And we'll go through the Menti quiz now, just to see who will be the leader and who will win. We have 2 vouchers, so we will have 2 winners. And the winner will get the UiPath voucher for UiPath swag on our swag store. So Nidhi, please share the Mentimeter presentation.
Yes,
give you the number.
just...
You will see the number on screen. So go to menti.com, guys. I place the link here. Everyone go to menti.com, and the number will be on screen in a minute.
Okay, so
choose from sharing options, share screen, not presentation, and go to Menti presentation. Or you can close share screen and reshare. Yeah, do that.
I hope we do not have the music back again. Okay, so
guys, the code is 29115533, if I remember correctly.
okay,
yeah, this is the code. Go to the presentation, and we are here. Let's everyone went in. Okay, let's wait for more people to gather, because I see them growing there. I think we had over 100 last time.
yeah.
Guys, for everyone who wants license information or other type of sales and account, just please drop me an email. I will write my email here. Just please drop me an email for license information, because we're not able to answer those questions now regarding licensing or accounts or stuff like that, but we will answer them on email. Okay, I think we're up to 122, still growing. Anyone else joining? The code is 29115533 at menti.com. I think all of them joined, so we can start the quiz now. So guys, pay attention. You need to answer fast. Which of these is not one of the main features of UiPath StudioX? Functional project templates, use machine learning and AI, intuitive error handling. Okay. So I think everyone answered. So this was an exception questions. Again, you needed to choose which one is not one of the main features of UiPath StudioX. Nidhi, what do you think about this answer?
Yes, Christina. So as we saw, right, functional project templates were right here when we opened the UiPath Studio. Instead of creating the project from scratch, you can use the functional templates already available. And the intuitive error handling, yes, we saw when we were running the bot and the bot stopped in between, we got something, right, to skip, retry, or stop. So this is the intuitive error handling, right? So we already have these, right? But the machine learning and AI is not a feature of UiPath StudioX, because these are something advanced concepts and for the advanced users, which the citizen developers does not need to know. Hence, they are not included in UiPath StudioX. They are part of Studio Pro. So no, it is not the future of the UiPath StudioX. And yes.
Okay,
let's see the leaderboard.
Let's see the leaderboard to see how is Connor doing.
Okay, I guess the page is taking some time to load.
Yeah, okay.
And
okay, so I think Andrew maintained his pole position now. We have the same three. No, only Andrew. PJ and Andrew tie. Okay, so we have one more question, which will define the final two winners. Let's see the next question now, and then we will have the final leaderboard. Okay. So let's go to the next question now. Guys, pay attention and answer fast. Okay, next question. It's after the leaderboard. The next slide, it's question 4.
Yeah, let me just quickly have a look because I think we have 3 questions only. But let me quickly check back.
Oh yes, I think you're right. There are only 3. Sorry.
Okay. Oh.
Let's go back to the leaderboard to see who the winners are. So we had a tie, which is very good actually, because we have 2 winners with the same amount of points. So that's a first in our history. So let's see again. It was Andrew and PJ, I think. If we go back to the final leaderboard. And Andrew and PJ, I'm going to ask you to drop me your emails here in the chat now so I can recognize you and write you an email tomorrow.
We have Andrew, PG, and Let's Automate.
Okay, no, it's just Andrew and PJ because we have 2 winners and it's a tie. Okay. And Andrew, PJ, just okay. Andrew, also please drop me an email here. And just say I'm the winner of. Oh, I wrote to someone else. So yeah, I will take your emails from the chat, but please also drop me an email tomorrow. PJ, also please drop me an email to gather your prize. Yeah. Thank you very much for everyone who joined the quiz. And now I'm going to unmute you. We just have like 10 minutes. Everyone can unmute now, but please do not talk over. If you want to ask something, let's take like 3 questions.
¿Qué querías, el salón?
Okay, I'm going to mute anyone with background noise. So if you have background noise and you do not want to ask a question, just please mute. Anyone wants to ask any questions?
Hi, Christina. This is Raj here.
Hello, Raj.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yeah,
yes,
thanks.
we can hear you.
Christina, I work for Capgemini, where they have provided me all this license, and I have this UiPath installed in my machine from past 1 year. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue the training from past 6 months. However, I had completed the RPA Developer Foundation in the year 2020 in the month of October. Okay, and my company had spent some time and amount on me to take this training. After that, due to various reasons, they have stopped that project implementation. Okay, now I have again received an email in my company email address for which I have registered. So I have joined this session, summer school, this training one. So will this cost me, or how this is going to happen? I'm so sorry, I just registered, but
no, this is completely free. The summer school is completely free, so you can join all sessions. There are no costs for the RPA Summer School. It's a completely free sessions, and the license for community license is also free, so do not worry. You can follow through the program until the end.
So is there any amount that I need to pay now, or
No.
maybe later?
No.
Okay, it's free.
Yeah, it's completely free.
Okay, that's really great. And like I heard, definitely you do mention that the license is free. Is this something, can I install it in 2 machines? Because this is an office laptop, and if I want to do any practice or so, it's better to have this installed in the personal laptop is what I'm guessing.
Yes,
So
that would be better for 2 reasons, but I think it depends on what kind of license you have. But yes, you can install it on the personal laptop and run it from there and do the bots there.
okay. And what's the major benefit, after attending this training continuously? Will there be any kind of support or help that you provide, like how to, pursue the career in RPA? Or
You will have
just
at the end of every session, and of course in the content uploaded on the sessions, you will have instructions at the end of the sessions how you can follow up in Academy and how you can continue on the learning path if you want to get the certifications. You can get the Academy certifications for StudioX and the entire Citizen Developer Foundation training for free.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you follow
Okay.
up on Academy, a link which I will show you. Now we will take one more question and then I will close the session. And if you follow up that training, which is free, you can get the Citizen Developer Foundation certificate in Academy, and then you are fully operational in StudioX. From there onwards, you can also follow up in Academy. But we are at starting level now, and I don't want to get in any more details like very technical features, because this is a program designed for citizen developers, not for pro developers. So this is the starting path, yeah. You can start here, and you can go as far and as deep in RPA as you want, like say in the following 2 years. But this will definitely help you.
Thanks, Christina.
Okay, bye. So one more question. Let's see.
Christina, this is Rommel. I'm glad to attend this live session, but in my country right now, it's quite late. Is the recorded also okay to take? And then I'll take the quiz after on.
So you asked about the recording. I'm sorry, I didn't fully get it.
No, I mean, even if I didn't go for the live session and I go for the recording instead, and then later on after the 4th, it will be credited, even though I'm taking the recording.
It will be perfectly okay. And afterwards, you will also have the Academy links, which teach you in a very slow pace and very descriptive. So it's okay. Yeah, you can do this in a self-paced mode. But what you need to do is to RSVP to the event links for the 3 other sessions if you want to access the content.
That's great, Christina. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I'm sharing now, so everyone pay attention. I'm sharing again the link to the RPA Summer School, where you have the links to all 4 sessions. Just please go and RSVP to them if you want the content. Okay, I think I will share now the screen to show you a bit of what I mentioned about the Academy. So, okay, so we are here now. We have this UIPath Academy. Okay. Okay, I'm going to give you a link to UIPath Academy, where you can go and explore the courses and follow up. Here is the link for Academy. So if you go there and you choose the citizen developer, let's see. So it will take you here, yes? Okay. You need to make an account. So you don't have the same sign up, you will make an Academy account. And when you enter Academy, you will see courses, you go to courses, yes? And from the category here, you go on the left, yes? And you see category, you get to the drop down and you choose RPA Starter. And you can follow these 2 courses in follow-up to this session, Introduction to RPA and Automation and RPA Starter. These courses are completely free and they come with a certification. And for the next sessions, you will have also some courses to follow up. So if you want to do something between session 1 and 2, you can do these courses in Academy. Okay, and now, let's see. So what is next? You will have the content from today's session up on the event link for session 1 tomorrow. You will have the recording and the presentation. Then you must RSVP to session 2, of course, as we dive deeper with UI automation. So you will learn how to automate user interfaces, and you will learn how to do the unicorn name automation in the following session. What else you can do is go check out our community platform, which is completely free and has features for our community. You can go and check this out at community.uipath.com. I'm going to place the link in chat here for everyone who wants to check it out. And you have all the resources there. You have the Academy resource, you have the forum, and you can join the forum. And then we have a special forum topic for StudioX. And in that forum topic, you can simply ask all the questions you want on StudioX. You can search other topics on forum as well. The forum is meant for the community to help each other. So you ask a question, someone from the community will answer. It's very useful and very interactive. You will have a lot of fun on forum, and you also get great insights from RPA developers on forum. You can also go to a community and join our chapter. So if you haven't already joined the Citizen Developer chapter, you can go and join our Citizen Developer chapter. The RPA Summer School is drafted on that chapter. So for example, this is the link to the session today, and this is the Citizen Developer chapter. You can join this chapter and you will have access to all upcoming events for citizen developers. This is the link to the chapter. And I hope you had fun. I hope you will RSVP to the next sessions. And just tomorrow you will receive an email with the link for the event with the recording and the PPT, the presentation. So don't worry, you will have access to that content. I hope today was insightful. Nidhi was a great presenter, and thank you, Nidhi, very much. And Afe and Catalin for helping out in the chat. And I hope everyone had a very good time and learned a lot about RPA today. This session was meant to give you context for the next sessions, which will dive into more technical aspects and teach you how to run bots in StudioX and automate. You will learn how to automate Excel, Word, user interfaces, and email like Gmail and Outlook in the next sessions. So thank you everyone for joining us today. It was a great session. Nidhi, thank you once more. Afe, Catalin too. If you want to say bye-bye to our guests.
Surely. Thank you everyone for taking out time and joining this session. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. And yes, please join for the upcoming sessions to learn more about the RPA and UiPaths. And yeah.